Good day. Welcome to our next topic, which is binomial expansion. This will be the last topic for the quarter and for the school year. Let's go back sa grade 7 when we first encountered this process of binomial expansion. Let's say we have a binomial x plus y. It's being raised to a power n, where n of course is a positive integer. Magdodrawing tayo ng Pascal's triangle. Hahanapin natin kung aling row sa Pascal's triangle yung nagko-correspond dun sa exponent natin. Then the entries of the Pascal's triangle, this will be the coefficients of the binomial expansion. Then isusulat natin yung x starting from x to the n in decreasing powers, and then yung y starting from the exponent na 0 in increasing powers naman until umabot siya sa y raised to n. So let's take a look at a specific example. Let's say x plus y raised to 5. Gagawin natin, titignan natin yung row corresponding to n equals 5. So 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Sulat natin yung entries ng Pascal's triangle. Dito 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. And then the powers of x starting from x to n, in this case x to the 5th. Sulat natin siya na nagde-decrease as we go from term to term until mag-x raised to 0 na siya. Then dito y is raised to 0, y to the first power, second, third, fourth, until umabot tayo dun sa y to the nth, in this case 5. And this is the binomial expansion of x plus y raised to 5. And here today, makikita natin kung ano yung kinalaman ng coefficients ng binomial expansion sa Pascal's triangle and by extension sa combinations. Kasi Pascal's triangle, essentially combinations yan na naka-arrange in a triangle. So what we'll do is we'll take a look at the Pascal's triangle na naka-combinations yung entries, and we'll take a look at the row that corresponds to n equals 5. So here, ito yung mga n ay equals sa 5. So n choose r, n choose 0, till n choose 5, where n is equal to 5. And since yung 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1, nagko-correspond sa 5 choose 0 all the way to 5 choose 5, i-rewrite natin yung expansion natin using yung combination expressions as the coefficients. So instead na 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1, it's 5 choose 0 hanggang 5 choose 5. Now, let's take a look at a specific term. Kunyari, itong term containing x squared and y cubed. Ang coefficient niya ay 5 choosing 3. And right now, what it is answering is, ano ba yung coefficient for x squared, y cubed? But what we'll do is, we'll ask a different question to give us an idea kung anong nire-represent ng combination na 5 choosing 3 na yan. We'll do that by doing the expansion. So, x plus y raised to the 5th power is, syempre, 5 x plus y na binomials being multiplied to each other. And what are you doing when you are multiplying itong 5 binomials to each other? You're essentially taking x plus y, so i-distribute mo siya sa x times x, tapos yung product nila x times x dito, yung product na yun times dito, yung product na yun times dito. So meron ka ng x to the 5th power. Pwede ka ring may x, distribute mo sa x, pero ang distribution mo ngayon papunta kay y, then papunta kay y, then papunta kay y. Then you will have your x squared y cubed. But that is just one x squared y cubed. Pwede ka rin makakuha ng isa pang x squared y cubed by taking y times x times y. Yung distribution in that sense will give you another x squared y cubed. So may dalawa ka ng x squared y cubed. So by distributing the terms in the binomials na 5 beses mo minultiply, so ilan lahat yung mapo-form mo na x squared y cubed? Kung ilan yung mapo-form mong x squared y cubed, yun yung magiging kung ilang x squared y cubed yung meron tayo sa expansion, yun yung magiging coefficient nung x squared y cubed na term. But what are you doing? Parang meron kang 5 binomial factors, tapos tinitignan mo kung ilang beses ka makakakuha ng 3 y out of the 5 binomials. So we could rephrase this expression as how many ways can you choose 3 y's and consequently 2 x's from 5 binomials. To help us visualize, what I mean by that is yung x squared y cubed ko, dito ko sa first and second factors kinuha yung x at sa third, fourth, and fifth kinuha yung y. Yung pag-distribute ko nung multiplication ay yung x na to times x times y times y times y. That's how I chose to multiply the terms inside the binomial na minultiply dun sa other binomials. But aside from this, you could also get x, y, y from these binomials. And this is exactly the number of ways, so nilista ko na lahat ng ways para kumuha ng tatlong y at dalawang x from the 5 binomials. So each row corresponds to a particular binomial. And what are you doing? You're essentially asking how many ways akong kukuha ng tatlong y from 5 possible choices, from 5 possible binomials. Kaya siya 5 choosing 3. And 5 choosing 3 is equal to 10 by exhaustion. Lista natin lahat. But we could also compute that na 5 factorial over 3 factorial, so that's 5 times 4, 20, divided by 2 factorial, or 2, get 10. So the coefficient of x squared y cubed is 10. So yun yung connection ng combination sa binomial expansions. By expanding a binomial like this, you have n choices ng panggagalingan ng individual x and y na terms ng binomial mo. And yung factors niya would determine or would tell you kung ilan yung kailangan mong kunin dun sa n. Na kailangan ko ng dalawang x at tatlong y. So by choosing 2 x's, syempre, matitira sa'yo tatlong y. So this would be the same as 5 choosing 2 din. So that is how yung combination ay connected sa coefficients ng binomial expansion. So the expansion of the binomial x plus y raised to n is kukunin natin yung entries ng Pascal's triangle na nagko-correspond sa n natin at sila yung magiging coefficients ng binomial expansion. Then we'll write our factors starting from x raised to n. Then x raised to n minus 1, papasok si y, keeping in mind that the sum of the exponents is always n. And nagde-decrease yung power ni x, nag-i-increase yung power ni y until we get to the last term na ang coefficient ay n choose n. Tapos y raised to n yung isang factor. And we could write this as a summation na ang x plus y raised to n, this is the sum of all terms ng n choose in r times x raised to n minus r times y raised to r from r equals 0 to n. So what's happening here, kinukuha natin lahat ng n choosing r from n choosing 0 to n choosing n. Mag-start tayo sa x raised to n kasi r equals 0. Then nagde-decrease siya for each iteration. Then nag-start tayo sa y raised to 0. Nag-i-increase siya for each iteration until we get to the last term. You should keep in mind that since we're counting from 0 to n, that there are n plus 1 terms. And yung first term, nagko-correspond siya when r equals 0. The second term, nagko-correspond when r equals 1. And so on, till you get to the last term, which is the r plus 1 na term. So now, let's take a look at some examples ng binomial expansion. Let's start sa straightforward. We want to expand yung binomial na 2x plus square root of 2 raised to the power of 6. Pause natin siya ngayon and let's compare our final answers after you try it on your own. We'll use n equals 6 sa Pascal's triangle. So our coefficients will start from 6 choosing 0, then 2x raised to 6, 6 choosing 1, 2x raised to 5, then square root of 2, and so on. 6 choosing 2, then the powers of 2x nagde-decrease, yung powers ng square root of 2 nag-i-increase, until umabot tayo sa 6 choosing 6 times 2x raised to 0 times square root of 2 raised to 6, which is that last term. Then let's just evaluate the combinations and yung powers. So 6 choosing 0 is 1, so 2 to the 6 is 64, x to the 6th power, and 6 choosing 1 is 6, tapos 2 to the 5th power is 32, and square root of 2, 6 choosing 2 is 15. And let's just continue evaluating the expressions and the combinations. And then let's just simplify. So our final answer would be 64x to the 6th plus 192 square root of 2x to the 5th plus 480 x to the 4th plus 320 square root of 2x cubed plus 240x squared plus 48 square root of 2x plus 8. And that is our final answer. In our next example, lagyan naman natin ng konting challenge. Imbis na straightforward natin siyang expand, we're just asked to find the middle term of the expansion of x squared plus 1 over x raised to 8. So please pause the video here, try to figure it out on your own. First, isipin muna natin ano ba yung middle term. And then use what we know about the entries of the Pascal's triangle para hanapin yung middle term. So we're looking for the middle term of this expansion. So first, the expansion has 8 plus 1 terms. So 9 terms meron siya. At ano ba yung middle term ng 9 term? I mean, that would be the 5th term. So we know that we are looking for the 5th term, and corresponding sa 5th term, this is r equals 4. Because the first term is r equals 0. And knowing that r equals 4, we know that we're looking for the term na ang coefficient ay 8 choose 4. Kasi yung power ni x squared ay 8 minus 4, and yung power ng second term, 1 over x, is 4. And 8 choosing 4 is 70, so we'll have 70 x squared raised to 4 times 1 over x raised to 4. Simplify na lang natin siya. We'll have 70 x raised to 8 over x raised to 4. For final answer, 70 x to the 4th power. This is our middle term. And for our final example, ano namang daw term ng 2x cubed plus 1 over x, quantity raised to 10, yung nagko-contain ng x to the 6th. So again, pause this, try to figure it out on your own, then let's compare our answers. Okay, so this is what we're looking for. Each term dun sa expansion natin would have this form. 10 choosing r times 2x cubed raised to 10 minus r times 1 over x raised to r. Pansinin lang muna natin yung exponents ni x. Yung magiging exponent ni x dun sa 2x cubed raised to 10 minus r, it will be 3 times 10 minus r. Yung exponent naman ni x dun sa 1 over x raised to r, magiging x raised to negative r kasi nasa denominator siya eh. So, since minumultiply siya dun sa 2x cubed raised to 10 minus r, then kung yung exponents lang titignan natin, then we'll have the exponents nung 3 times 10 minus r, divide mo siya ng x to the r. So, mag-minus lang tayo ng r sa kanya. At yung in-expect nating result ay equals to 6. So, we will solve first for r, and we'll have 30 minus 3r minus r equals 6, 24 equals 4r, that r equals 6. And the question is, which term of the binomial expansion contains x to the 6th? We know that it is r plus 1, or the 7th term. Now, since we're here, we might as well find the actual term. So this will be 10 choosing 6 times 2x cubed raised to 4 times 1 over x raised to 6. This will give us 210. Ito yung 10 choosing 6 times 2 raised to 4, which is 16. X to the 12th power times 1 over x to the 6th. And we see no, na bibigay sa atin yan ay x to the 6th. And our final answer will be 3,360 x to the 6th power. So that ends our lesson on binomial expansion. You will likely encounter these topics in the future, but for this school year, this is our last topic. So goodbye and thank you, class, and I'll see you when I see you.